the Word of God. Don't miss this opportunity to impact lives. Click the link in the description now and help us spread the Word of God. What God told me the night before he became a dad by Eduardo Quintana. Summary. This was one of the most spiritually powerful experiences I have had in my entire life. I could clearly see what was at the heart of these verses. John 14, 1-4. I want to tell a story about how God gave me a revelation. About John 14, 1-4. In this passage, Jesus talks about going to prepare a place for us. This is a story about something that happened several years ago, when we began our adventure to adopt children. 2015122212.21. 13-1. 410. My wife Yolanda and I had decided to adopt a child or several children, if God would allow us. We certified ourselves as foster parents with BCFS and expressed our desire to adopt a newborn. They told us that it would be almost impossible to adopt a newborn because of the great demand there is to care for and adopt a baby. Furthermore, the legal procedures could take years. In those cases, one day in early April 2011, a few weeks after our house was certified as a foster home, I received a call from Miranda, our social worker. I will never forget her words, Mr. Quintana. There is a baby in the hospital who needs a home. She was born 9 weeks premature but is healthy and ready to go home from the hospital. I told her to let me talk to my wife so we could pray and agree on this matter, but deep down I just wanted to say yes. Yolanda and I talked about this for about 2 minutes and agreed to accept the baby. An event that would change our lives. We knew this would change our lives, but we didn't know how much it would change and how quickly. I called Miranda to let her know about our decision to open our home to this baby. After that we had to wait for the state of Texas to make a decision, since we were one of many homes that were chosen by the Texas Department of Family Protection. We had a better chance of winning the lottery than being chosen, but we prayed and waited for what seemed like an eternity. Within an hour, Miranda called me and informed me that our home had been chosen for this baby. I started jumping like a 5-year-old on Christmas Day, but the joy was short-lived, as a few minutes later I felt terrified. When I was finally calmer, I picked up my cell phone from the floor. I didn't know how it got there and Miranda was still on the receiver. I'm sure she'd had this kind of reaction before, and yet I apologized and asked her what she was up to. Then Miranda told me we needed to go pick up the baby right away. It was about 4 in the afternoon and I was working. I couldn't have left work so I asked Miranda if I could pick him up the next day. She called him at the hospital and everything was arranged to go the next morning to pick up the baby. So I asked my boss if she could let me out early that day so I could go buy things for the baby. That night, my wife and I went